Bill came to me and said, Dan, hey, let's start something new. I want you to join me. I want you to be second in charge and so on and so forth. And I said, well, Bill, I'd love to, but you've got an idea that's a wonderful idea that it just probably won't work. There was like 9 different treatment centers in the area, and it was very highly unlikely that anything would be successful on a financial level. I know clinically it would be excellent because Bill was just great, but it was just not probably in the stars for a business to start and be successful. So it would be hard to get investors, and I told Bill that. About that time, my second child was being born, son Joseph, and I took a week off to be with the family during his birth. And when I came back, the owner of the hospital came to me and said, Dan, said, we've made some changes since you've been gone. I said, oh my goodness. What have you done? He said, well, we're changing, reorganizing, and we're going to have 5 different business centers in the hospital, and I want you to run one of them. And my passion at the time was to do patient care and work in therapy with our patients, and I was going to go more to administrative area. And I went home with my wife and said, boy, this is really difficult. You know, I hate, because my identity was more on the clinical side, so made a decision to join Bill myself. Amazingly enough, he called me to his house one day and he says, Dan, he said, I got a plan. I said, okay, what's your plan? He said, I'm going to hike the house. I said, no, Bill, don't do that. This is so risky. And Dan, he said, HP, which was God to him, said, I got to put my own ass on the line. He said, he demands that of me. I can't, I have to take a risk and have faith. I have to do that. And I did not encourage Bill. I did not, I probably discouraged him. You just, why take the risk? And he was so impassioned by it. He said, I'm going to do it anyway. So, anyway, long story short, he hocked his house, a couple of $100,000 line of credit, and so we could open. And that's how we got started. Basically, was his passion for it, or insanity, or whatever. On reflection, it wasn't so insane, but at the beginning, you would think it was probably a little insane. But anyway, we got going, and it was a tough road to hoe the first year or so. It was really, really tough. We basically went through most everything that Bill had committed and all the shareholders put in. And we were challenged. There basically just a little bit of money was coming in, and then we're trying to pay our staff. So it was 91. We got the staff together and say, look, we're really having a hard time keeping this open, and we have a decision to make. We can't cut our services, because our philosophy always has been is provide inpatient, outpatient support living, aftercare, and engage people for a long period of time. So you really couldn't afford to cut anything out without compromising what you're trying to do. So we got all the staff together, and we said, well, here's the deal. If we're going to stay open, everybody's going to have to take a pay cut. And some are going to get, guess what, 100% pay cut. And those people will be paid eventually if this stays afloat. Some are going to take a 50% cut. Some are going to take a 25% cut, and the minimum cut will be 10%. And anyway, we had a table with all our people around and said, this is all the only way we can do it, and we want you all to go home, study about it, talk to your wives, pray about it, whatever. But this is the only way we feel like we can keep the doors open. Unless everybody agrees to it, we're going to stop. And they said, no, we don't want to go home and talk. We'll say, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it now. And it was amazing. It was one of those great moments where people say, yeah, we're going to stick with it and see if we can make this work. And things started to turn around slowly, and we started getting a little more in than was going out as far as the finances were concerned. And then it looked like when we were getting into, I guess, the middle of second quarter of 93, it looked like, you know, we might be able to keep going. And then the awful of awfuls happened, in my view, in 93. It was in October. I think it was the 8th. Bill Hood had a tremendous. It wasn't a coronary event, but the base of his brain, and it wasn't an aneurysm, it was something else, and I can't remember the technical term for it, but his brain was just bleeding out, and he was getting ready to eat and go out to a meeting with his wife, and that's when he called his wife and said, come here, something awful's happening, and his wife Jean went to his side, and he was losing consciousness, and he said, I can't go yet, I've got more left to do, you know, and that's the last thing he ever said.